think that they're such accomplished players throughout their careers that like the frustration of online, those complaints, like they allow it to be a thing because they know that they can get up for lands.
Right.
But I mean, for the environment that they find themselves in right now, the situation that they're in elimination bracket in this tournament, I mean, there's still a lot of money to play for.
Exactly.
These guys need to figure out a way to mentally lock in and step up, because if they don't, they'll find themselves out of this tournament on a Friday.
Well said. Still a big opportunity, regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstances. And Acend, they will prey on them. They'll take full advantage. And like you said, if they do win it, what a statement to carry into LAN. At the same time, you can never count C9 out of really anything, LAN especially.
Like the lack of opportunity they've really given themselves with the current frustrations that they always have to deal with. So I think it would bode them well to come out and at least win a couple of series here in the elimination bracket this weekend.
I think mindset is everything, Wes, not just on the LAN environment, but I think as a learning process as well. There's so much to Infinite, so many little nuances and things that you notice if you take the time to appreciate the little things. Either way, let's appreciate the game in front of us. Our first match of our best of 5 series. I'm board with Eco to kick things off, and a man who I think has stepped up in a big way since found joining the roster.
He's got to step up, right? Eco's known as a do-it-all player, but they're going to really need his leadership here in order to get over that mental hump, right? That's one of the big things for me is Eco is typically the vocal leader, the most mature on the team, and with that comes a lot of responsibility to keep your team locked in, checked in, and right now, Cloud9 look like they're off to a fairly good start. Control the hill, control the overshield, the S7 as well, and then get around to Slays here would be massive for their opportunity here to score the first point.
Teed it off nicely, Wes. Everything they need to make plays. Got to watch that pillar side push, though, right? Such an important angle to lock down. Not quite the nade he was looking for. Slows him down just a little bit. There is the pillar side coming in, though. It is Snipedrone with the kill. On the bounce. Might slow their roll. StelluR here to help with the defense, but aggressive play coming in from Acend. Not quite working just yet, though. That's 2 dead. Thanks to StelluR and team. Pznguin still has yet to use the snipe. If he keeps playing like this, he might not need it.
A great job by Pznguin to stay alive there. He's able to once again get his shield back. So he's dropped a no shield multiple times, doing damage, gets a kill, stays alive. More importantly, gonna secure this first hill for his team. It doesn't really look like anyone from Acend's gonna be able to get there. Pznguin scores the point, and that's gonna be Cloud9 getting off on the right foot. I can't tell you how big that is for them to gain some momentum. You know they got to be frustrated after that phase series. That's a big rivalry series with Renegade on the other side, Spartan on the other side, teammates, past teammates of theirs on the other side. You know, bound left phase for Cloud9, so they want this opportunity to come back and to get the better of them. They're gonna have to go throughout the bracket to do so. Acend the first team in their way, and for Acend, you started off a little slow, but a game type that I feel like you've had success in already today against a very good team. You should be confident that you can come back in this. But right now, control is still going to benefit Cloud9.
Step 1, get this snipe out of Eco's hands. Going to be a nuisance to back of tower here. Sica will try his hand. Not quite going to work. Beautiful shots out of Eco. Team nearby to clean up the scraps. There goes Snipedrone. He does come out in the trade, but ultimately the setup here still favoring C9. And look at the prediction on spawns as well. Just needs to clean up one more. Lqgend down for the count, pushing the nest, coming in. Eco, opportunity to put the snipe to good use. Fortunately, that was the last shot.
Playing his life so well here, not overextending, not taking too many angles or too much damage. He's able to stay alive. The rest of Cloud9's still been able to pick up kills. They've set up perfectly. Now that they've gotten a couple rounds of slaves, they've created some space. They picked up the new snipe. And if they can get this player bottom tower out of their way, they would have been able to hold a setup there. But unfortunately, Snipedrone on the flank back tower, he ends up picking a couple of kills up. 3 go down for Cloud9, and if they can take down Eco, which they're able to with a nice no-scope body shot from Lqgend, finishes off with the battle rifle. And now Acend are going to be right back into this one. Cloud9 on the ropes here in the second hill, and you're looking at Acend potentially tying it up here shortly.
Opportunity for Lqgend to showcase his individual skill as well. You can see the man got another kill with the snipe. So StelluR does find him. Last second stop at a C9 as they do try to make their way back to hill. Snipedrone looking to lock that down, though. Shutting down Pznguin immediately. OS about to spawn up here. A bit of a double dilemma. They do lock in the hill, though. They can make the rotation back through OS to get to the next one, assuming they win their fights for it.
So Acend get the point, but they all go down. It's up to Snipedrone to try and deny this overshield right now, and He gets taken down by Pznguin. A phenomenal job by Cloud9 to make the best out of a bad situation. When the hill moves, you get this overshield intact. And now that you have a full overshield to play around, you're already in the hill. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Acend's first push, because if it's unsuccessful, you can almost guarantee Cloud9 will retake the lead.
I think it comes off the back of Snipedrone here. Good opening kill from him with the snipe, and he can break through. Looks like his team's doing that justice for him, though. 3 dead already. Make it a full team wipe here despite the OS.
Well,
didn't quite work out for him. With everyone off the map, what an opportunity Snipedrone's been given to line up a couple shots.
Snipedrone's got 1 bullet. Hell of a sniper. If he can create a pick, just the numbers advantage is massive for his team. Opting to use the battle rifle now, but a great job to back that player down, try and stay alive, but he needs a little bit of help. Lqgend's a little late to the party for him to stay alive, but Lqgend gets the kill, gets back in the hill, and already they've surpassed Cloud9 in this 3rd hill. What was once looking like Cloud9's real opportunity to go 2-0, 2-1. Acend are battling back, and they're breaking setups left and right, and because of it, they're on the brink of taking the lead here in game 1.
Eco. Oh, you know he wanted that triple. Snipedrone takes him instead. Respectful with the kill also. Just beautiful trades out of Acend in every opportunity. C9 tries to pull away. Acend, they're always there. They're always ready to set up.
Acend are playing this so well, baiting and switching, staying alive when they need to. 2-1 now. The hill's confirmed. Acend take the lead. And Cloud9, after a hot start on the 1st hill, they've had opportunities in the 2nd and the 3rd, but the setups get broken almost immediately. And that's testament to Ascend's ability to use teamwork to break these setups so efficiently. They're doing such a good job once again.
StelluR finally with the killjoy. They try to shut down some of the boys on Acend as they are picking up some momentum here. 12 kills that are respectful, by the way. This brawl for the 4th hill, sorry, going to be so important. Snipedrone just looking for a flank on it. Lqgend with an opening kill. Eco now in trouble. Trying to pick up some scrappy time here while the team comes in to defend them. There's a trade. Eco here to clean up another, and some efficient work at a C9 to get things started here.
Last player alive for Cloud9 is in the hill. Eco, he finally gets taken down. They're going to get tower spawns, and if Acend can play this well enough, they can angle themselves behind this pillar in the hill to gain some time, but Cloud9 going to bully them out with some grenades, going to get some presence there immediately. 3 go down for Acend. As we hop on board with Eco, you can tell that this house has been the prioritization of the sides for this overshield hill. It's because you have so many more different angles to play around. Acend's gonna opt to try and push bottom middle. It's Sica.
Oh,
that gets good damage on the hill, but gets caught off guard. Pznguin with the assassination. Pznguin pushes the hill, gets a double. You hold back, and 3 members of Cloud9 go down, and all of a sudden, back and forth, these 2 teams are continuing to battle. And so far throughout this game, when we found ourselves in these situations, it's been Acend that comes out on top as far as the objective is concerned.
Starting to find the same opportunity here as well. They had the setup in lock, and testament to C9 to focus respectful on the perimeter first, try to break through. See if they can carry a little more off this. Lqgend does pick up the bank shot kill for trade. But where's the snipes in the hands of Bound? He's had a rough start to the game. An opportunity for him to hopefully find his footing here and get C9 back into this hill, especially in time for the OS.
Yeah, but he's in such a poor position to try and compete for it right now. He's surrounded. Snipedrone with the heat waves in his face as well. That's going to cost him his life. And now that overshield's coming up, a couple members of Acend went down, but it does look like they're going to have the benefit of the close spawns next to brutes. They're going to get the overshield as well. And I mean, this has looked like Cloud9 did a majority of the slaying throughout this hill, but as soon as this overshield comes up, you see the positioning of Acend, and you have to believe they're in a phenomenal opportunity here to jump out to a 3-1 lead.
And I'm not sure C9 can afford it either. On top of, losing this hill going down 3-1, exactly the timer against them. They got to clutch up on this one. Do it now. Pznguin with a kill. Trey's going to go down as the scrappy fights continue bottom mid. StelluR, I think, no choice but to bounce out of that hill temporarily. This bottom mid flank we've seen so many times out of Acend as they make their way through KotH. I think they're starting to get predicted on the challenge here, too.
Yeah.
And that coverage at a bound, hopefully enough to allow C9 to lock things out on this 4th hill.
Yeah, you can tell Acend has loved that bottom mid push towards the KotH, and it's about time Cloud9 caught on. They get the first pick, and they're able to honestly secure a significant amount of time here as they're starting to rack it up. They cut off those blanks, and it's doing wonders for them. They're looking to tie this one up. What looked like an Acend overshield was going to transition into a 3-1 lead. Cloud9 do everything to get that second point from that moment on. And they do a phenomenal job to stay in this one. 55 seconds left. The hill moving top middle is a difficult one to cap. You can almost guarantee we're going to overtime. But you can almost guarantee the next point will win.
Not only saving their standing in the game, looking to lock down a setup here as well, but needs Slice to do it. The trade comes in from StelluR. Ultimately, Acend coming out on top in the fight. Still, Bounce still has the weapons. He waited back pocket. Hopefully hears Lqgend from behind. Didn't even need to fire a shot. Still got work to do, though. Sica, next challenger, does take him.
Good job to get tower. That's the prioritized position here for this top mid hill. You can see a majority of the different angles do so much damage from up there, but you immediately see Sica wants to be aggressive. Overshield's coming up. It's kind of pulled his hand away from the tower. He's got to help his team secure this one. Loses the teammate that could have gotten it, but he's going to be there in order to secure that, and that's a phenomenal play by Sica. And now with Overshield in hand, Acend are going to have a massive opportunity to try and control this top middle hill, because you can soak up a little bit more damage, and that matters so much when talking about the damage trades that occur top middle.
Wes, there are 17 seconds left in this game. As long as they stand in the hill, that timer is frozen. It might be a risky opportunity to do it, but I'm curious to see if C9 can bounce into this one at the very end. And I'm curious to hear their comms as they do it. Let's jump into it and listen in.
I'm sitting tower.
Yep, door, guys.
Alright, I'm kind of at A.
He didn't come through bottom. He did not come through bottom.
I'm sitting cuts, One is nest, Kevin. And one's right tunnel.
Yeah, one's one shot nest. I'm one shot. I died. We get dom. 3v3. There's a guy nest.
One shot bottom mid, one shot dummy door.
You gotta get out and kill something,
Cuts one shot.
Okay.
It was Lqgend. Just get out of shield now.
Dude, one shot top house. Absolutely dumb.
One tower.
Nice, 2 dead.
2
We
dead.
have numbers right now.
Mid cut to top mid. He's not weak.
Yeah,
Go
one
on, you run away.
Just live down. Five real.
I just dummy door.
Top mid.
I died as well, man. One shot in the hill.
You just live.
Lqgend killed himself now.
Through a wall.
Take a route, maybe?
Two no.
Long as you can, Zane. Long as you can. You're huge. This is huge.
We got a shot from top.
Yeah, Zane, get your shields and go make cut. Zane, get your shields and go make cut. We gotta go inbound. We gotta just go.
Already gone.
3 there, not that weak. Nice.
We're in. We are in.
That's good. Come in.
Don't die, Brayden.
Sit.
Where we at?
We're dead.
Fuck. We gotta get in this.
Yeah, we
Get in it.
In it. I'm in it. Brayden, come help us, bro.
OV.
OV.
Pillars. Can we not get out of this?
No, we can't.
No, we cannot.
Okay, Brayden's gonna die.
Top mid to top house, and OV's probably top house too.
Bound, you can't get weak.
Snipe.
There you go. So I died from nest.
Yeah.
My word, Wes, what a down-to-the-wire situation that was. And C9, I respect the patience on the comms to keep it together, but they could not afford a mistake. 1 second on the board, all it took to just step out that hill and have that game go to Acend.
Yeah, the game was decided in that 5th and final hill top middle, really. And, I mean, you try as you might, you flank almost perfectly, get behind enemy lines at the very last second. Here it is on screen, and it's Pznguin. He gets an assist. He repulses the player, but at the time, everybody else on his team had gone down. It was a really unfortunate situation for him, as it felt like it was such a good play, but it still wasn't enough to take down Acend. They stand true on their live fire King of the Hill games. They've now beaten Sentinels in that game type. They have now beaten Cloud9 in that game type. They now have the lead in this series. It is the elimination bracket. So if Cloud9 lose this series, they are done on Friday. This is the first time you can probably say that about any of their careers in any tournament, even if it's just a Friday tournament most of the time. And these guys now have to be resilient, have to show us what they have. You can hear the frustration too in the comms, by the way.
I mean, they try to keep it, under lock, but you know, just the I got shot around the wall comments, or like the little things that you know don't benefit the game.
The little
whatsoever.
things that you cannot say during a tournament.
Exactly. Yeah. And when that comes into play, you start to wonder how it affects the mental going on in the series, and you start to wonder if this storyline is possible. If Acend, starting with that first game, if they've got a chance here to create the upset and really punch their tickets to Orlando in a sweet fashion.
Yeah, this is everything Acend fans want. This is everything the Acend players want. They want to showcase their talents on the world stage. They want to be able to say we can compete with the world's best. Well, having beaten eUnited earlier today, the Sentinel series wasn't exactly the closest, but it wasn't exactly a blowout either, right? They won that game 3. Game 4 was pretty close as well, if you remember. And that's all you're asking for is a ticket to the dance, and a dance that you get an opportunity to potentially go up to the prettiest girl and say, hey, can I get this one? And I mean, Acend, they've shown you that they can compete, and I love this team. I think that a big mental hurdle is understanding that you belong with the world's best, and I think that today and throughout this next week of scrims leading up into Orlando, they're going to learn they can compete with the world's best if they believe in it.
Proof that you're capable of taking this thing. I think that's the biggest thing for the confidence going into this next game of the series. At the same time, C9, you know they could bounce back just as hard and sweep this out if they're playing their game. Aquarius Slayer, I think a good landscape to do this one, Wes, especially considering the players on the map here. I want to say just about everybody in the lobby. You could call it H5 Kid, and what a map to play on for all of them.
Absolutely. This is one of the maps that I really do think is Cloud9's strength, so I'd be shocked to see them give this one up. That being said, Acend also known to play very fast pace. We'll see if they can push the pace on Cloud9, if they can gain the lead. Already off to a phenomenal start. 4-1 Lqgend with 2 of his own. As we hop on board with the young GOAT himself. It's actually going to be Bound that secures the camo throughout the chaos, though, and that's a bit of a blunder, I'd say, by Acend. To be able to get that amount of kills, you have to believe the power-up is going to go in their favor, but no, Bound already got the camo, got the kill, and now he's going to gain map control for his team just with that.
You said it, being a blunder. You got to wonder how Bound slips away in the first place, but because he's created the opportunity, what does he make of it? Apparently, they didn't pick up the heat wave. Snipedrone has that. They'll find their answer, 8-4. As they do hold the lead. No real opportunity for C9 to sneak their way into pulling things back. Just a straight-up battle here off of spawn, and Snipedrone down below. You can tell he's got some audio cues of the players beside him.
He doesn't want to take too many steps forward, though. Understands that this angle is one that if he commits to, he's going to give his life if there's too many players to deal with. I love the fact that he wraps around after creating a little bit of chaos. It's allowed his teammates to flank, pick up the damage. Pick up the kills on the damage he was able to lay down, and now all of a sudden a 12-6 lead, and the Acend's teamwork right there was really something to watch.
Something they've locked down for the start of this game. 14-7 at this point as they hold down top map. Bound in trouble. Sorry, StelluR in trouble. Lqgend cleans him up. Remaining members of C9 spawning up on yellow side. Look at the positioning of Lqgend to keep that damage going, though Eco finds the shots to slow things down. And the timing is perfect as well with the camo now up center map. That top map control and that beautiful BR to Eco going to be so important.
Yeah, a bit of an over challenge from Respectful there. You want to play your life in that situation, and that's opened the floodgates. Here come Cloud9 right now. 16-12. It was a 6, I believe it was like a 15-9 game at one point. And the second that one player goes down, the camo goes in control of StelluR, and all of Cloud9 try to flip the map. They do so successfully. It's now 17-14, and they have a good amount of information here as StelluR on the flank pink one.
The survival at a StelluR, the savior, Eco jumping in last second to keep this one in play. And like you had mentioned, C9 now playing their game, getting the advantage on slays. At least they were. Big pickup by Lqgend to slow things down, make the collapse more difficult. Bound does grab one as well, brings us to a tie. Despite the opening, a killjoy at a Lqgend. And more kills we're going to need to see like that if Acend want a shot at dominating this lobby like they did in the opening.
Cloud9 are right back in this. After the hot start from Acend, Cloud9 have done such a good job to get map control and continue the pace of this game, but you have to see, is Acend capable of the same recipe here and now? Can they stop the pace? Can they gain a little bit of space here on the map? Because Cloud9 are looking to flood. They get a couple of kills, and that should relieve some of the pressure Cloud9 was once putting on them. Kills are traded back and forth, though, as Cloud9 lose a couple of members, but it is Bound now on the killing spree, starting to heat up. He was called out for having maybe not the best game one statistically. Bound's not going to have several games in a row that statistically go poor. One of the best young talents we have in the HCS, and he's showing you exactly what he's capable of after a rebound performance.
So important for C9 that Bound's able to play his game get away with it. Looks like he doesn't quite that time. Eco comes up to pick up the trade. Camo now about to spawn. Once again, we see that top map control at a C9. They're checking their corners. Hoping to clean up the remainder of Acend. Make it 2 dead already. Snipedrone, he's in trouble. He'll try to get out. Eco preserving his life. He's got Snipedrone locked down. Should give easy access to Camo. I believe Bound was the one to pick it up. So what was a deficit, now an advantage for C9 as they're starting to pull away.
You can feel the amount of pressure. Every time we watch Cloud9, they're just always advancing on the map, looking to apply pressure. This is what Cloud9 is known for best, right? When they're in their groove, they are going to suffocate you. They're going to force split spawns. They're going to take advantage of every pick. And right now, Bound in the window, creating havoc in the back of blue. Gets a kill, gets another player to another, gets another player no shield, but in the meantime, it's just allowed his teammates to advance on the map, to continue to get the rest of the kills across the map while Bound's buying time against 2 players. And it's 34-28 now. It's still 6-kill game, so Acend have kind of stopped the bleeding, but unless they are able to figure out a way to gain map control and find some aggressive plays themselves, it's going to be so difficult for them to trade efficiently.
Those trades do continue. We saw C9 in a similar position in game 1, fighting from the back foot. Despite it, their comms were clean. I'm curious to hear Acend this time. Let's jump into a listen in with the boys and see how they sound.
Yeah. I got
Nice.
Yellow fridge, you saw me. Weak yellow fridge. One game yellow fridge as well, like yellow cats. I'm gonna play for Dynamos.
P1, Pznguin. One shot P1 if you can see him.
P2, two pin, going P1 behind you, Brown.
He killed me, Inside. Frost there, KotH. One shot there, KotH, on the car.
He's one shot. Where? I got one on the one, car one on me.
Let's get down.
Watch it yellow from base, nice.
Regarde, nade on me.
Nice. Good hit, last one Pznguin. He's the last guy.
Nade.
Just get Legend alive.
Just one shot, I don't see him.
You need this timer. Nice.
I'm gonna die.
I'm yellow fridge.
Weak days, 1, 2 shot.
Yellow one shot. Nice. Yellow Jane going car. Okay, going car 2. Car 1 weak. Watch out, car 1. Dead.
Top car, weak bound.
Come on.
He's one shot car 1 going yellow bond.
Yeah, he's going P1.
Watch it P1, Bound. Watch it P1.
Same. Come on.
I'm looking
Yellow
P1.
flag on me. Yellow flag. P1, bottom.
Got one. Yellow Jane again on me. Yellow bridge, 2 guys.
I'm still up. Nice trade.
2 guys, yellow Jane. Yellow tunnel. 2 guys, yellow tunnel.
You're on your own, man.
Camo now, StelluR, weak. Camo, one shot. There, KotH, you one shot, you're dead.
Nice.
Nice switch.
Let's come on, guys.
I'm looking at here.
I got the camera.
Yo, top car, weak.
Top car, Pznguin.
I'm gonna die.
I'm watching Nate.
Blue flag on me, I think.
He's low.
I died everyone get vision. I got the camera.
Nade's one shot. Nade's one shot.
Nice.
Nice.
P2, I'm pretty sure. P2 and blue pin.
Thanos, mate. Okay,
Blue pin.
StelluR's weak.
Low as fuck.
Maybe rare.
They're gonna push you, Sica. They're gonna push you, Sica.
You guys on me. Blue cats has one more. One weak blue cats has one weak blue cats. One blue cats lost in the last game. Is the shroom stairs.
I heard that.
Blue flag.
I'll take him. I'm watching, bro.
Weak, one shot. Eco.
Watch it, bro.
Watch Jen.
Let's go, guys. Sorry.
I see that guy, what the fuck?
Nice, mate.
My God, you gotta love just listening to it from the perspective of Acend, the way that those comms climbed at the end, the way that they made that comeback, and the survivability of Lqgend to start it off. But Wes, I mean, that's just good Halo. They brought that back, they closed it out, and you can feel the energy behind them.
That's damn good Halo from Acend right there. They were down a majority of that game, especially when it got to about 6 past the 30 kill mark. You started to get worried if you were rooting for them. Well, they clutched up. This kill on the StelluR was massive to deny the camouflage from going into Cloud9's hands. And I mean, Acend's teamwork is really what's showing out. They run in packs, the bait and switch. They play their lives so well. They've got tons of individual skill behind it to hit the shots they need to. But you see the teamwork, you hear the communication, you hear the passion with the nices after important kills are clutched up on. And when those things are happening, it's inspiration to the rest of the team. That energy feeds throughout the rest of the team so well, and you can tell how bad these guys want something like this, even if it is an online tournament for some cash prize, even if they have a massive tournament in Orlando next week. Like, they want to beat these North American teams every single time they play them, because it's been such a cloud over like Europe's head for so long that like they're not good enough. They can't compete with North America's best. That's been something that's been said for over a decade.
Yeah.
This is the team, I believe, that's going to prove some people wrong, that's going to create some upsets, and it's a phenomenal start to their young careers here. Even if it is an online tournament against Cloud9, we don't have to blow that out of proportion. this moment means more to Acend than it does Cloud9 by far.
Definitely looking like the most talented EU org we've seen in Halo's history at this point. Of course, they still got work to do, but what a precedent they've set, especially with this series. And Wes, I think you said it beautifully. The communication, like, you can just tell how hungry these guys are and how much they want it, and the selflessness in the comms as well to hype each other up, to be on each other's sides. Like, they're just, they have the mindset and I think the perspective needed to make it to this point and hopefully hold on to it as well. I think you couldn't have asked for a better Game 3 landscape for a team that's looking to upset Catalyst CTF. They did this against eUnited. Are they going to do it against C9? It's up to C9 now to find their footing or face a 3-0.
Well, they did fall short to Sentinels in this very game type for Game 4, and this is where Acend can make up for that. I think they played a phenomenal game in that Game 4 against Sentinels. One of the big things for me back then was a lot of individuals were being forced to make pretty incredible plays in order for them to stay in it. But see if Acend can build some teamwork throughout this game. You've seen it in other game types. There's no reason it shouldn't be here in order to get a little bit more of an opportunity for this win.
What they didn't get with that was that OS, though. Eco with a swift opening strat, picked up grapple, pulled himself the OS. Got top map control because of it. Lost his teammates in the process, but he's doing a pretty good job of evening the odds here.
Good job by Eco, but can't be aggressive just yet. Needs to wait on his team, and he's got a grapple in his back pocket. How's he going to use it's the big question, as respawners are going to be in the enemy base. He's going to take down Lqgend, but unfortunately, you press the back button, 3 members of Cloud9 are down, and it's going to be StelluR that's coming off spawn, and you got overshield, you got a few slaves, but no objective work was done, and now Acend looked to be aggressive. They get a flag pull off their first 4 down, and Respectful is going to be able to get this to the hallway. It gets shut down on the run, though, and that's going to make this Acend run so much more vulnerable to being stopped.
Looks like it will be stopped short, unfortunately. I gotta say, I'm so used to seeing that plasma pistol charged. When Lqgend picked it up, he spammed it so quickly. Like the man was shooting an AR right off his spawn, though. He'll slide, find himself a kill with the Bihar here as well. Gonna lock down Bound. And another opportunity to pull the flag. Acend not letting up. No doubt carried their momentum into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel the energy when we listen to the comms. That energy is going to transpire throughout this series as long as they're able to keep momentum. And momentum right now in their favor. Overshield's coming up in 10 seconds, and Cloud9 need to be careful here. If they're not able to stop this flag and they desperate and don't get the slays, they're going to give up Overshield. But in the meantime, it does look like Cloud9 have been able to get the kills. They may be able to get the return, the Overshield, and a flag of their own on the move.
It's looking like enough. Bound with another. Got some numbers in the base to pull a counter, and OS coming in as well. Great situation here for C9, and Acend might be forced to just cut their losses, start overextending. It'd be tough to headbutt. That flag already on the move. Respectful. Did he pull the opposite side flag, though? Or, I'm sorry, he flanked.
No, he spawned over there.
He got the lucky spawn. Or maybe unlucky, depending on how you look at it. He's off the map.
He does go down, but he does delay the run. The run, however, it continues in the hands of StelluRs across the map, and as long as we're seeing Pznguin buy time, that's just resources not spent on overextending, not spent on stopping the cap. Bound's going to punch that one in, and it is going to be Cloud9 jumping off to a 1-0 lead.
Not just a 1-0 lead, apparently. Another flag's been pulled. Looks like it will be a standoff. Lqgend does have a flag of his own. And an opportunity to either turn this into a tie or a little worse. C9 already in position on the base. With their numbers, they're going to be collapsing on this flag as well. It's up to Sica to make a huge play to stop this. I'm not sure he's got the resources to do it.
Good shots by Bound. Sica's still alive, though. Gets a kill on the Pznguin. Unfortunately, other members of Acend are going to have to be re-slain in order for Bound to really get into the enemy base. He's got a little bit of help. StelluR, he gets the kill. It's up to Sica once again coming off spawn. We know that. It's going to be StelluR getting information that, hey, Sica's already OE'd. Never mind. The skewer hits across the map, and that's a beautiful way to get numbers while the flag's on the move. StelluR has just almost guaranteed that this is going to be a cap.
My.
As he lands another skewer shot, the grapple to the back smack for a killing spree. StelluR's doing it all.
StelluR looking absolutely nasty on the map. 2-0 because of it.
Oh, he hits that.
He just goes for it. Yeah, he goes for the YOLO to
I'm
close
out for the day.
Pretty much. That might have to be a GG's, honestly, if he just no-scopes it. Either way, damage done. Pznguin with the OS at this point. They're now barreling in for a third flag, and Acend clearly staggered in response to this. They're going to have to find their footing and do it quickly.
Yeah, I want everybody to pay attention. We hopped on board with StelluR. He had the skewer, lands a double. Now we hop on board with Pznguin. He's got the overshield. Cloud9 doing everything right as far as scavenging. They're controlling the entire map, and with that, they have this 2-0 lead. Both flags are on the move, however, so you could turn this in to just a 2-1 game right now. Eco's off the map. Well, he's got grapple for now, but the flag's going to be returned. Unfortunately, Eco tries to grapple the bridge. You can't do that in Halo Infinite, and because of that, I believe there is going to be a 2-1 game here shortly. Maybe both flags actually are getting returned here. I do believe Cloud9's flag gets returned in the chaos that was what we just witnessed. And with that being said, Cloud9 are going to keep that 2-0 lead. But they're doing such a good job so far throughout this game of controlling all of the power on the map. And with that, that's something that they've been able to use to their success in order to make the difference in this score. Cloud9, if they want to stay in this series, they're obviously going to have to finish this one strong.
Talk about those weapons. They do back up to mid-map again and look to control the playground here. Just the relentless pressure. Most of this game has taken place on Acend's side of the map. Just difficult to find little opportunities to break out of it. Legend, the one to find the opening. There goes Eco. And he safely push up. Gonna wait on spawners. Snipedrone right behind him to make this push happen. But StelluR already in position to find some defense here.
StelluR gets away. That's disgusting. He runs right into two players, but just making it so difficult for Acend to track him, to keep tabs on him. The flag's still on the move. There's a couple of players still left from Cloud9 to deal with. And that's a phenomenal trade by Eco. He gets a double. In the meantime, that flag's going to go in because of it. Eco gets the kills to flush out the Acend members in his base. Cloud9 take the 3-0 lead.
All right, C9 aren't out of the running yet, clearly. With a 3-0 to kick this off, they've definitely still got something in the tank. And Acend, as close as they've come to greatness, they still got work to do. But will they find an opening in this game? Another flag pulled already. ET bound with it. He's going to be making the run. Acend still trying to find their wins in their fights here. Respectful. He'll try his hand.
Wait a minute.
Only to end up sailing. That player won't quite escape the fray. Bound already positioned as that flag does move. Acend might be able to turn this one around, though. And the play to Snipedrone looks like it's a good start. Unfortunately, C9's on top of it.
Great job by StelluR to get that touch onto the flag, but he's got a lot of Acend members ascending upon him right now. He needs to play his life. Respawners have come for Cloud9. They're going to be able to keep this flag alive, and right now, take a look at the clock. 5 minutes. This is a flag stalemate. Sometimes in a flag stalemate, when you're up 3-0, your mind should be defensively. You should make sure whatever they do, they're only going to be able to send 3 players at you at any point in time on this map because it's so large. If you can just win the 4v3s at your base, the more time you buys less time for Acend's opportunity, no matter what the result of this flag standoff is.
Buying time definitely sounds like the strat if they elect to play it. No doubt they're still popping off when it comes to slays as well. The only one to really kind of fend his own is Snipedrone at the moment. 19 kills on the board. This individual fight's going to be so important, especially as Eco kicks things off with a perfect kill. He'll make his way back to flag. No competitors nearby to stop this one as well. Oh, I take it back. Snipedrone getting in the fray very quickly.
Yeah, a phenomenal job there to get a touch on that flag. Overshot's coming up in 3 seconds. It's a question mark of who's going to be ready to get it, and it looks like Snipedrone's down there, and now that Snipedrone has that overshot, is this where... Oh, they done activated. I was going to say, they almost need this in order to get the push, and Bound knows that. He's going to jump off of it, of the map with the overshot. He's going to negate that opportunity, that win condition for Acend. This push now with no overshot is going to be so much more difficult for Acend to take over Cloud9's base, but still, multiple members in Eco's face. He gets one, but he gets taken down. It's up to Bound, coming off spawn. He's not in a position to get Lqgend off this return. Lqgend is going to be able to get the return, which means this will cap this flag. But a lot of time comes off the clock. 1.5 minutes off the clock. Now you're still down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and the map gets completely reset.
It's slow and steady, but progress still being made. Despite the timer against them, West, this is very doable. They can just get things started here. C9 not letting up, though. Aggression still coming in. Pznguin with a pickup. Trade does come through. Flag taken on the side of Acend. You'll see them double back to the base to try to, or overextend to try to stop this one. Thankfully, Sica in position for that. Already getting tagged, though. Gonna need the help of Respectful for a safe route through, and thankfully he does come out clutch with the kill. Acend not only finding themselves a run, they've got a return opportunity.
Now they're finding themselves all the kills. That was all 4 members of Cloud9 dying in sequence there. Sica's got the flag on the move, and it's going to be up to Cloud9 overextenders to try and stop this one, but nobody's there. StelluR's getting cut off. Snipedrone's here with the double, and that's going to be a 3-2 game. Now all of a sudden, Cloud9, who have been fairly aggressive with this lead, fairly aggressive as far as approaching the map, trying to continue to play on the offensive, starting to get punished with these overextensions being so successful from Acend.
Acend just clawing their way back in this one. And no way, they're the ones to find a clutch comeback for a 3-0. Would be a hell of a story. First step will be to shut down Bound. And that's not going to be an easy process, man. Hits the no-scope just to get started. That'll open things up for C9 as almost connects on 2 there.
Just find a trade still in that situation, and as Overshield was coming up, Cloud9 got all the kills. Eco's in the base now. That Overshield, it's gone though. It gets Plasma Pistoled away, and phenomenal job by Acend to negate that with the Plasma Pistol shot, but still, a lot of members in your base does not bode well for your future here. They go 3 down. It's up to Respectful. He's made slight work of 2 of them. Can't find a third, but he does force StelluR back.
The delay just enough to get Lqgend some hands on the flag here. And a run started. C9 in the meantime might be looking to pull one of their own and offset things. Pznguin with a nice little opening. Got the team to work with to clean up Respectful as well. And the skewer coming into play thanks to Snipedrone. That's a stop on the flag. Send in position to maybe get the return on this.
Yeah, they need to get a touch though. Now there's a minute on the clock. You really have to start overextending. You have to start being a little bit more aggressive than you'd like in these situations. Clearing a little bit less corners. You have less time to obviously do so. And how do Cloud9 have to play this one? It's up to Snipedrone. He's the last player alive for just a moment there. As he's in a one-on-one with Bound. Doesn't want to overextend. Knows that if he goes down now, this could be one of the most difficult situations for Acend to try and get out of.
It definitely could be. And with 35 seconds on the board, pressure is on. Bound and Pznguin with 2 kills as well. Acend have one final push to make this happen. They could pull the flag and trigger the sudden death. And you gotta love the patience at a Lqgend and Respectful to wait for the team before they do this. Unfortunately, Lqgend already dead. Respectful here to pick up the pieces. Man needs to stay up. Gonna need the help of the rest of Acend to make this push happen, but he's under too much fire with 15 seconds on the board here. Might not be in the cards, Wes.
Yeah, now Cloud9 are focused on defense. Now they're starting to lock down their base. They get the first kill, and they have so many different angles that they're able to focus these Acend players on. It's such a predictable push because of the limited amount of time Acend has, and that's going to do it for Game 3. Cloud9 are going to stay in this series, push this to a Game 4. And if you thought the former champions were going to just be done, swept away, you thought wrong. Cloud9, they've started to wake up, and you could see the momentum in their gameplay throughout that Game 3, and that should give you hope if you're a C9 fan.
Especially when you're hitting shots like this with the skewer. I think that opening energy at a C9, so much confidence behind the plays of StelluR to kick things off, give them a cushion to work with. And Acend, you know, despite waking up, clawing their way back halfway through, they just didn't have the time to really lock things in towards the end. Despite it, C9 still in the hot seat. Anything could go wrong here and close out this series. The worry is that, is this C9 just getting started? It's a 3-0 sweep, a potential here, Wes.
Yeah, that's the worry, right? Cloud9 is always capable of coming back in a series. Unless the series is absolutely over, I'm never going to count these guys out. And something we touched on is Acend beat eUnited earlier today. It was, do they have what it takes to close the door on the series? And they did so against eUnited, and that was a phenomenal job. But this Cloud9 team, champions of their own, it's going to have to be a consistent thing that you ask Acend. Do they have what it takes to close this series? Because players like StelluR, Eco, they don't go away just quietly, right? They typically show up, and when they start to feel themselves, when they start to gain momentum, all of a sudden when their communication starts getting a little bit less focused on the negatives and they start hyping each other up, you can just know that that momentum is going to roll into gameplay and that they're going to start to pick up the pace, and it's going to be very difficult for Acend to deal with.
C9 have woken up for sure. Did they wake the beast? I guess we'll find out here. Strongholds live fire coming up next, Wes. I think despite the results on that game, just looking at the damage, it was Snipedrone who actually came out on top in the lobby. Of course, an IGL for his team. I want to say the veteran of the roster next to Respectful. He's so important that he's able to play his game to open up opportunities for a player like Lqgend to do exactly what he does best, make big plays.
They've had success on live fire a few times today on the side of Acend, and it's probably a good thing that they're seeing this here and now. It's going to be a different type of game, though. Strongholds is one of Cloud9's best. It's also one of Ascend's best. Just two very dominant Halo 5 teams, each of their own. And if you had to lean towards one or the other, Shyway, in my opinion, I think you go towards Cloud9 once again. I think we're almost destined for a Game 5 on Recharge.
There's just too much history behind C9 to doubt them, despite the situation that they're in. But I wouldn't be surprised at the same time if Acend do find the upset. They do find their way through this. You'd hope that they find it here with Strongholds live fire. I think the last thing you want if you're Acend is to get to this down-to-the-wire situation, Game 5. At least with Recharge Slayer, you got a slower burn of a map to work with. Hopefully stabilize things. But first things first, one map at a time. Strongholds live fire up next. And what would you hope would be the key to success here for Acend, Wes?
I think Legend's got to catch fire for this really to go in their direction, right? I think when this Acend roster is at their best, Lqgend is making plays. And to be able to put Lqgend in a position where he's able to kind of take over in different situations, that's got to be a key. Acend have got to get him going. It's not like he's had a quiet series by any means, but there needs to be a standout performance. And I think if you're going to see one on the side of Acend, it's going to be from Lqgend himself.
If possible, I'd love to look to Lqgend to start our game as well. Man's been a top scorer throughout the matches that we witnessed him. Only expect him to continue to do so, and I think a big opportunity for him would be the snipe on top mid to kick things off. Heatwave not too shabby as well. Either way, that opening strat will set the momentum for this. Give a team access to C-side, access to control, and maybe a little snowball to kick things off.
All right. It's the last series of the day. Some of y'all were hoping for a 3-0 over in Europe. I know it's getting late, but not today. Not this time around. Cloud9 answer the ring of the bell. They wake up just in time to keep this series extended a little bit longer. We got Game 4. Live fire Strongholds, and if you've learned anything about Cloud9, you should be a little bit nervous if you're over there in Europe, because they are known to get the ball rolling on Strongholds, and when they get that trip cap, it gets ugly quick.
Unless you're Acend, you should not be nervous. Play your game, focus up, one step at a time, and so far so good for this team. Unless they've woken the beast. C9 already coming out with the weapons to start things off on board with Bound. Heatwave in hand, a Snipedrone shooting better, apparently. He'll come out on top of that fight, and great timing to do it. The OS about to pop as these first kills come through.
Nico's going to be there to capitalize to pick up that overshield. Great shots from Pznguin to win his 1v1 front tower. He's got snipe in the back of his pocket as well. A couple of players, top, middle, and house, are going to have to be found on the side of Cloud9, but they're going to opt to try and flip the map. They're going to try and take C as well as transfer over B, and this is a very favorable position early on for them to be in. Pznguin looks to do work with the S7.
With a setup like this, it's going to be very difficult for Acend to push through sandbags to make that rotation to B, and what we're starting to see is the rotation outside instead, maybe to focus C first. C9 aware of that rotation. Look at this, the angle's starting to change. Pznguin looking for a target. The team will shift to counter the push of Acend. Acend trying to play it patient, keep themselves a little bit unpredictable on how they make this happen. There comes through tower, though, Lqgend. Snipedrone coming out with kills to get things started, but Eco always in the best position possible.
It's just a death you can't have if you're Snipedrone. You got to figure out a way to not get forward like that from Eco. Eco just diminishes so much presence over at tower that Acend would have just had. And look at this, Pznguin crouching behind the boxes as we switch screens. He's able to do good damage, but Eco finishes the kill himself. He's got 6 to his name already. Eco is starting to heat up right when Cloud9 need him. The setup, it is going to be broken, however, and they're pushing a trip cap, so it's going to be Acend that are looking to be extra aggressive here. Overshield's coming up. Sica goes down right on it. And right now, Lqgend in a tough position to try and make a decision here. He knows he can't really compete for this overshield. Respectful's going to try and defend this overshield for long enough in this flank from Lqgend, but unfortunately, it gets sniffed out. Lqgend's push isn't a successful one. But in the meantime, Snipedrone, Respectful, they find the kills. Snipedrone on a flank towards tower as well. They're going to push the trip cap with an overshield in their back pocket. And Acend have done everything right as that overshield will come up.
Right. It all started with Lqgend. You know, maybe he didn't get away with multiple kills. And, you know, credit to Eco for turning and shooting the Pznguin to delete him. But everyone on Acend came together to time that collapse, win their fights, come out with the OS. And look at the score at this point. A and C capped 61 and counting as Acend do find their footing, find some momentum here in Game 4.
Yeah, one of the best Stronghold teams I watched towards the end of Halo 5 was Acend Online, right? They started to really connect the dots on how to push a trip cap efficiently. It's no surprise that they're having success right now. They're dictating the pace of this game here as it goes. Eco trying to stay alive in that situation, but I mean, look at this. The rotation, even when you're down numbers from Acend into A, is perfect. The timing is there in order to lose C, gain A, and now you've just flipped the map in your advantage. Even though you lost the Sways, that's beautiful work from Acend.
Just don't get sniped. That's the only worry. Sica with a body shot in. That's enough damage for an easy cleanup for C9. Lqgend, oh, what a dangerous little tightrope to walk across. Lqgend going to take the shot as well. And as Eco does the damage, you see him move up to take a better position here. New angle to work with. So important as a sniper to continue to reposition and find new opportunities.
How good is this kid? 10, 4, and 5 right now, starting to take over, can do it all. The decision making, impeccable. The individual skill, it's absolutely incredible. And Eco's starting to heat up. Cloud9 need every bit of it too. They're still finding themselves down 16.
Eco, the cleanup crew. Doesn't quite hit the second shot. Trying to deny Sica, but Sica, beautiful shots to counter him. They do get away with another OS. Immediately rotates back to A side. Not going to go for the snipe just yet. Looking to win the team fights here.
God.
Center map. And the timing is beautiful. More than enough shields to make this easy.
Like a kid in a candy store. He's just got everybody in front of him. Activates the overshield. No one's looking at him. And now he finds himself another easy kill. As he has to work around the pole for a little bit, but eventually gets cleaned up. But that's a job well done from Sica.
Man is 9, 8, and 7 currently. Almost as many assists as he has kills. Doing the work he needs to do to keep this team on top. In the meantime, StelluR doing his job to counter. AB now locked down. Top map in control from Acend. They'll use those sight lines to make the climb difficult. Not sure if that nade was, wasn't intended for Bound, but it didn't matter. He can't shake this man and the confidence.
Bound. A lot of responsibility here over towards the elbow. It doesn't look like anybody else is out here. And Bound actually overextends towards the pillars, puts himself in a vulnerable spot. Because of that, he goes down. 3 actually go down. What was that, Lqgend? That assassination is absolutely filthy for the triple kill there. Numbers back in Acend's favor. Strongholds back in Acend's favor. They continue to score.
And that's what I think we've seen time and time again from Acend is, you know, the team play out of C9 might reset the pace, but it all comes down to that one, you know, individual play from one player. And trust Lqgend to be the one to find it there. Sica previously. And more opportunities like that will present themselves as this game continues. 141 and counting. C9 with another collapse here, and this time not going to be countered.
Sica's the last player alive now. He's bottom middle. They know where he is. Got heat wave in hand too. It's a difficult decision. They're going to play for this overshield coming up, and they're going to have a very favorable position. But Sica feels the need to push over that nade and should pay for it with his life. It's a 2-2 split right now as StelluR was the first player to the overshield. And because of that, he's going to get that overshield, find the 3rd kill, and now, respectful, I believe, not in a position to really compete for this hill. He's in that tunnel, hiding, waiting for his moment here, but StelluR's going to transfer that over, and honestly, Cloud9 looking to push a trip cap as they are going to lose B here momentarily. A phenomenal kill there in order to kind of release some of the pressure, but it's Bound with the triple kill as the response, and a trip cap is in the near future of the boys for Cloud9.
Definitely still in this. Definitely still looking confident. Bound with the triple. Start to wonder if the man's only just getting started. They'll go to A to stop the bleeding. Once again, it's going to come down to a immaculate rotation at Acend to find their way out of this one. I think the snipe isn't in their hands as well. Someone just got body shot. It's Sica going to lose that 1v1. A massive win for Bound. I believe he wasn't even full shields taking that fight.
Nah, he was full shield, but the movement, if you saw it, if you had to pay close attention, the crouch in the middle of the fight, the way that he drops off so perfectly to just help that fight go in his direction, just force that player to make that shot a little bit more difficult on him. He's able to win that fight, and that was a massive one to keep this BC cap alive.
And he's still going. Actually, it's Pznguin. Either way, no matter who you snap onto on C9, everybody ready to pop off for us, make a play. Eco here to help out. Lqgend not going to get away from that fight. I think the biggest thing with that battle with Bound as well, Wes, is the change in elevation. I think it's a subtle thing in Infinite, but so important. Just stepping down from a ledge. The speed that you fall is faster than usual, and you can trip up your opponents mid-fight with it.
Overshots are coming up in 5, and all of a sudden, if you take a look at the score, Shyway, it's a 70-point lead for Cloud9. They got a bit of a trip cap. They've gained control ever since, and really ever since we've seen Bound starting to pop off. Pznguin's joined the party as well. They've gotten a few overshots in a row, and all the power has gone in their favor. And StelluR with this overshield now jumping up front house is going to be a serious problem to try and deal with. He gets a kill before Snipedrone's able to finally take him down, but in the meantime, points continuing to score in C9's favor. Nobody else really on Acend able to have any success anywhere else on the map, and right now they're going to be forced to try and press some advantages. They are able to transfer over C, so they overextended. It's that B stronghold that's going to be so difficult for them to get in this situation, and it's almost a trip cap now needed. As only 19 points for Cloud9 to see a game 5.
What an attempt at it, Eco. By the way, if he hit that stick, that would have been massive. Didn't quite land it. You can tell Acend just fighting from the back foot here, despite the confidence, the organization they had early on. I think the OS pickups, the biggest bane for this team at the moment. They have not been winning them in the second half of the game, not winning the snipe here as well, as StelluR slips away with it. 21 kills for this man, looking to make it 22. Oh, what? I guess he was already weak. His lunge doesn't come through, but Lqgend, he comes out on top of that one.
Mysteries of the Halo Infinite servers. Volume 1337 from StelluR. You don't know how the kill doesn't come through. We'll hope it doesn't dictate the outcome of the game, but for now, Acend with A and B in their favor, gonna try and hold this down, but StelluR's already come off spawn. Bound is back here doing some work. He's found the snipe in his hands. A nice body shot to push Snipedrone back. And B's gonna be transferred over to C9. It's gonna be a couple of players that looks like trying to push from front house. One's pillars, one's big door, and Cloud9 need to defend B if they want to close this game out.
Less than 10 seconds to get into a hill. Acend, they got to scramble and do it quickly. OS about to spawn too, but they can't focus on it. Instead, they're running into bullets. That'll be a perfect kill at StelluR to close the game, and despite the strong start from Acend, C9, they are awake. They're living, they're breathing in this one, West. 250 to 190, I believe, to close out game 4.
Shaway, you said you wanted a game 5 at the start of the day. Well, we're going to get a game 5 here. It's Acend versus Cloud9, and all the momentum now in Cloud9's favor in this series. What was once a very hot Acend, even at moments in this game 4, looked very promising for them. They had trip cap opportunities, this overshield where you're just getting easy picks left and right, but then all of a sudden, right after, honestly, this play from the triple kill from Lqgend, like, that was nasty. It gets answered from Bound shortly after, and it was all Cloud9 ever since. And now if you're Acend, the door's been open. It's kicked wide open. This series is anyone's game. It's first to 50 kills.
Scary situation to be in, but not one that Acend is unaccustomed to. They've been here before, and they can still bounce back. The worry is, what's the mental like at this point? C9, they're revved up. They're looking good, playing their game. Look at StelluR, by the way, 23, 15, and 14. Big part of the reason why they stayed on top. StelluR's control of the snipe. We saw it from Eco, Bound, and Pznguin. I think everybody had an opportunity with the snipe to make a big play, and nobody did on the side of Acend, Wes. Every opportunity they found the kill, they didn't even have the timing to collect the snipe. We saw that trade with Lqgend bottom mid. He was so weak, he just had to get out of the fight. C9 on top of the weapons, on top of the power-up in the second half of the game, just allowed them to pull away confidently, and in the damage here as well, just about 6K for StelluR.
Unbelievable damage from StelluR there, and if there's a player on the scene that's got to be tired of hearing who's the best player in the game and not hearing his name referred to in the conversation, it's got to be StelluR. It's absolutely incredible how disrespected he is in his career and what he's been able to do over the past 5 years. An absolute juggernaut on the map. You ask anybody that he competes against who's an absolute problem when you play Cloud9, they'll tell you it's StelluR. absolutely makes the difference for his team there in game 4. It's game 5 recharge Slayer, first to 50. And if you're either one of these two teams, a majority of these games are decided so far throughout the power weapon story and how they've gone. We saw how dominant Fire King of the Hill was, and even honestly on Aquarius, how strong the heat wave was, how the overshield affected games 3 and 4 immensely for Cloud9. You have to be able to prioritize those power-ups, and those kills coming up right as those power-ups are coming up, those are such crucial points. Giving up free deaths 10 seconds before a power-up comes up, it cannot happen. Those are mistakes that you regret, because the position that you're going to be on coming off spawn is going to probably be unfavorable in order to compete, and that's where the game gets from bad to worse.
Well, Wes, I said I wanted a game 5. This series did not disappoint. This is it. Final match. No opportunity, no takebacks on this one. The loser is out of the tournament. The winner can survive in the elimination bracket.
Cloud9 out to a good start, but Lqgend answers it. He's got 2 of his own. He gets taken down. Trades across the board, but it is StelluR, the man of game 4. 2 kills to his name here. Got a player behind him. Can't get the melee, unfortunately, as Respectful does repulse him into the back of the wall. Somehow doesn't get the lunge once again, and StelluR's melee is letting him down so far in this series, but still finding a way to make up for it in his presence.
And Eco finding a melee of his own as well to keep that shock out of the hands of Snipedrone. Definitely the focal point of this one. He who controls the shock, I believe, has the opportunity to shift the tides of the game.
Is that a Bible verse?
Something like that. It was Luke. I gotta read the Bible more clearly.
John 1:17.
John 1:17. Thank you. That was a classic verse, and one that C9 will look to maintain throughout this game, assuming they win their fights. Acend winning it here.
It's Acend with map control right now. I'd be shocked to see them kind of try and slow this pace down. I think that would benefit Cloud9 immensely, but a map like recharge is such a tricky game 5 Slayer, because both these two teams love the fast pace. They love to push their advantages. Not necessarily the best map in order to get a kill, take advantage, because these doorways, they create such an opportunity to grenade and find easy damage as the pushes do tend to come through. So once a teammate dies, you almost expect players to be flooding through those doorways. If you can land a grenade in that doorway, you just capitalize right back. You swing the numbers right back into your favor. So it's so difficult for Cloud9, I'm sure. But this push into pipes, Pznguin almost takes down 2 in a 1v2 situation. Unfortunately, can't quite get the kill, but the rest of Cloud9 have found success elsewhere.
You gotta love how C9 break the setup, though, playing off of each other's damage. They get the comms in. Once the cross comes through, you got Pznguin in position to start the flank, start the aggressive play, work off the damage, and find that little opening to hopefully flip the map. You can see Acend doing everything they can to stabilize it. Plus, you got StelluR in your face, and comes out with a double kill. Acend still in position, back pipes, trying to win the best of these trades. Denial nade at a Respectful, collects the shock, doesn't quite hit the shot. Pznguin out with a trade, and scrappy fights continuing here as they burn resources trying to take the map back.
17-17, it's as close as it could be. As we approach the 20 kill mark, this pipes location has been where all the action's going down here recently, and it does look like Cloud9 have been able to flush out the members of Acend. They've acquired the shock rifle as well. Let's see if they slow this one down now that they have this shock. Eco tries to hit the ego challenge under Respectful, can't quite land the headshot, and it'll be interesting to see how Eco positions himself once he gets the shield back.
I mean, the first step would be just get out of this huddle, right? The nades coming into pipes. They're all stuck together here. Aggressive play to Acend as they do try their hand on this one. But you gotta love that jiggle peek out of Eco to just stay in and out of this fight, do damage, and help provide cover fire as those nades come through, clean up the outskirts of the map here. Their Snipedrone must have hurt him down low.
No, he kept tracking names there. He kept tracking names there the entire time. He saw Snipedrone challenge him on the nades, knocked him to no shield. He knew Snipedrone was still alive somewhere in this area. Heads up play by Eco there.
It earns them control of the map as well. Acend now stuck, or at least control of some of the map. You can see 2 on A side, 2 about to pop through Attic if they're not ready for it. Anticipating the challenge, though, is Eco. Finds Respectful. Beautiful. Snipedrone down for the count as well. Eco with a quick little swerve to get out of the fight. He's not safe yet, though. Oh, now he is.
Camo gets burned in the meantime, which is only going to benefit Cloud9 in this situation. Nico's going to try and take a proactive angle here with the shot. Doesn't hit the shot, and I love this play by him. Immediately puts it in reverse. I'm going back to pipes, boys. Immediately backs up to his team, tries to relocate, and I love this. Something that not a lot of players, or not every player does, but at the highest level, you continuously see this in the stalemates. You try to relocate so that the enemy team doesn't have an idea of where they need to be aware of that the sniper is. Now that they've got good damage on the eco, immediately he goes into pipes, and don't be surprised when he completely takes a different angle in order to try and catch a member of Acend off guard with a shock.
And you got to love how the team shifts positions to compensate as well. Eco finally getting the kill here too, making a spree. And working off a bound, looking for more. Respectful down for the count, bound with the trade. Eco earning control of A side, and once again, a lockdown of the setup. His teammates with a perimeter to keep control here.
Legend's going to be right in his face here in a second. Oh my God! The 180. Eco, with the last bullet in the shock, plays this light perfectly, repulses the plasma that would have stuck him back, and he's starting to take over.
There's no way he just, like, he didn't calculate. Could he have calculated that, right? Had head level placement, just kind of blindly.
Game sense.
Game sense, right? Flicked out, hit the shot. Before he knew it, he got a kill.
That's reticle placement and game sense.
Right.
You cannot teach that at home, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. And that's the biggest thing I think you notice with some of these players is they keep their reticle level at the head, regardless of, you know, how they approach the map. When they spin around, they're ready for the shot before the reticle's even in place. Then it just comes down to execution. Of course, Eco with years of that keeps control of the map, keeps the lead in their favor.
Now all of a sudden, you blink. Cloud9's up 7 after Eco's run with this shock is over, and although Sica gets the camo, jumps up, he's immediately deleted. The prioritization to focus on deleting that power-up player immediately was so strong by Cloud9 there. They've blown this lead up to 9 now. Shock rifle back in the hands, and now it's Bound's turn. He's starting to rip heads.
This is worrisome for Acend. C9 starting to heat up. Game 5 situation of all times to do it. 40 on the board. 11, make it 12. Kill deficit here for Acend. Did so much work to get to this point, and is all that about to be torn down?
No need to move if you're bound. You're fine taking these long-range fights every now and then. And if you're C9, you're up. I was going to say 10, but now 9. 5 minutes left. Time's on your side. Kills are on your side. Just trade out efficiently. Let Bound do his thing. If he can get some picks, that'd be great. And every opportunity he's found, he's gotten. It's a double kill for Bound.
Looking like Bound's trying to close this one out as early as possible. Trying to make us forget about the fact that they almost got 3-0. Gonna pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, after these plays, this is the only thing you can look at going back on the series here. 43. Respectful finding a nade kill. They'll try to take advantage, but whether it's Eco or Bound, right, the reaction shots out of these boys are too clean.
These pipes pushers has been a serious problem for Acend. They still continue to try it. They can't break the code. They can't quite figure out a way to get in here. And even if you're across the map, there's no right answer, it seems, for Acend right now. Bound continuing to rip faces. They only need 3 kills to find themselves victorious.
Someone's got to get this weapon out of his hands. He's got 1 shot left to work with.
That's too late.
It's just the ammo, the only thing going to slow this man down. Respectful down for the count. Like you said, too late. 49. Final kill coming in, and finally the use of the grapple. Bound, he's free to roam, free to take the final kill, and Sica not going to be the victim. But that seems only inevitable for Acend. He'll lose it here.
Sica says, not me. Find someone else.
No. Okay. Acend fighting tooth and nail to stay in this one. But the slightest of mistakes, and that is GG's. That's curtains. Matt flipped.
Several careless deaths given up by Cloud9. They can feel the win here.
Yeah.
Just 1 more to go. It's going to be Snipedrone now. It would be an absolute miracle to make this game any closer, I'd say. And Cloud9, they're not going to give him anything. Oh, as I said that. Eco gets enough information to know that I'm not re-peeking that one. But look at how they're all hurled up in the back of blue. They know that, hey, if they fly in here, everybody just target the same guy.
If we got to burn 3 minutes, we're going to burn 3 minutes, I guess is the mindset. And you can see how Acend push up to try to accommodate for it. Line of sight on the nades there, too. Make it tricky to challenge. Snipedrone is backed up to the bat ledge once again. Nobody's going to peek. Sica in the most advanced position to work with here, but it just seemed like a matter of time, didn't it? We didn't see it happen. Lqgend, he'll be picked off for a 50-42 close, and C9, despite being down 0-2, despite the progress we saw out of Acend, they're out of the tournament. C9 will move on.
It's a reverse sweep for the boys in blue. Wasn't easy, and Acend gave them everything that they could, but still, Cloud9 come out victorious here, and it's not without everybody doing their part on the side of Cloud9. And everybody stepped up and had their moments. Bound, Eco, they had the highlights in Game 5, but do not forget StelluR's Game 4 performance or anything before that from the boys over on the C9 side. And honestly, you were worried about them throughout the day, but they qualified to move on to tomorrow through the elimination bracket. It is going to be Acend going home, but not without some unbelievable performances, some memories, and some things to clean up before Orlando in order to make that next step in their careers as well.
It does really go to show how, just capable C9 is, despite the comms we heard from them earlier. They did not seem like they were having it, not enjoying it, but they're so damn talented that they'll find a way regardless. At the same time, it gives you hope for Acend and their ability to upset and continue to be that wild card in these tournaments. Unfortunate that they go down here, but what a run they had in this tournament. This 3-0 eUnited to start things out, which was just harsh, by the way. It's the eUnited Grunt Classic, but I understand. Saying they got to do what they got to do. It's all business. And I believe another 3-0 they had earlier today as well in the bracket West against another high-caliber team. It was TSS, against Ace's team. Acend a demon. They proved that today, and it just makes you wonder how far can they go on land.
Absolutely. I think they still have a little bit of growing to do as a team, but they're good, and they're going to be a threat to a lot of top teams at Orlando and tournaments in the future, right? These guys are the real deal, and I think that's the ultimate compliment we can give them before they really start to create upsets and give us more talking points on what they're going to achieve as far as a team, as far as accolades is concerned. By far, I would say the favorite coming out of Europe. Quadrant is honestly a contender as well, but